Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Gamestah TV for the summer qualifiers for the HGC. Once again, my name is Kit Fox. It is week 2. In fact, it's round 2 of week 2. And just going to recap the results of last round. If you did just join us in the first round, we saw Sweet Dreams defeat Teamzol off stream and Nomiya defeat Elite. Those were both sub 10-minute games, I believe. Eventually, the meme team went down to Ethereal Cat, and Sasu defeated the Initial D Megamix, as we saw on stream. And we have hit the 50 viewer mark, so can I get a rag in the chat? Exclamation mark rag in the Twitch chat, and you will go into the raffle for your chance at the Little Ragnaros bundle. And should we crack the big 100 viewers, we will be giving away a Zul'jin bundle, and we are edging very, very close to that. So if you have anybody that is around tonight, get them on into Twitch chat. We're only 16 viewers away, but for now, I'm going to throw you over to the man who sounds like he's in the bathroom for tonight, but to tell you what, you just sound so good, Skinny. Regardless, mate, doesn't matter where you are, it's just gold.
Thank you there, Kev Fox. Here we go, guys. And I mean, let's have a quick recap of what's just happened there. Explicit truly owns ANZ. He's done it. He's not just a one-trick pony. He is a competitive god, Vandy.
I mean, it's what you want to hear, kind of. I mean, it's always good to have a new kid on the block.
Absolutely. And I mean, you can see this ANZ's getting so riled up by this one. I got broadcasts, I got messages, I got ANZ just popping off right now. Explicit is the god that we all deserve. Now, let's look at this lobby right now. The Rejects up against Teamzol. I'm liking this synergy with that Brightwing portrait.
Oh, I am too. I mean, it's just beautiful. I've never seen so many Brightwings in one place.
And Battlefield of Eternity, another map actually is quite low in the pecking order for when it comes to teams at a competitive level deciding to go for it. I think we're going to see a few more off-meta niche picks in this one, specifically Greymane and even potentially Sylvanas.
I mean, Sylvanas definitely has her place on Battlefield of Eternity, and what makes her shine so much is because if you get the Immortal, you can do a massive push because of just her passive disabling everything. So she's definitely not down and out, and she actually has seen a lot more of, I guess, a more aggressive build on where she can just sort of reset her Shadow Dagger and get a lot of that damage spreading.
Yeah, I think Sylvanas is a bit of a bait on the back end though as well, because it feels as if teams really overestimate what that passive can actually bring in terms of disabling structures. They go, right, we can do this, but as a result, never find themselves having a strong enough composition to actually make that happen. They fall behind, and sure, you can wave clear well when you're in a defense, but it really excels when you're pushing. Now, let's kick things off here. It's going to be Team Rejects on the right-hand side. There are your red squad starting things off here with the red band. I think we're going to see much the same, but yeah, like I say, picks like Greymane, Abathur, Sylvanas might see a bit of priority as well.
As well as just, I guess, even the Li Mings and things like that. Anyone that can sort of has a strong team fighting presence or, really shines, this is, I guess, the biggest objective. And there's just a lot of brawls happening around it. So you really want to be able to win the fight, win the objective, win the game. Sounds easy, right, Skimmy?
Oh, I mean, it's easy as that, really. And when you've got a bird's eye view like this, go, look, you're bad. You should have done this. I can quite clearly see that. But then we do it ourselves and we fail. So we're on you with that one. Let's kick it off with these bans, though. On a serious note, Ragnaros is first banned. He's taken off the board. No surprises, though. Rag's seen a lot of blood recently. Very strong competitor. But Diablo also finding his foot ever since that rework. He's been taken off the board. And they're going to kick off with a familiar face. Vala also. How do we miss Vala having that niche build on this map in particular? Can go for the Hungering Arrow, amplifying the damage when it comes to those Punisher races.
Oh, I mean, Vala just shines so much, Skimmy. And, I mean, she's not worthy of a ban, per se, because she can be sort of dealt with quite easily, and they've got better things. But Vala's just such a staple now, especially of the current meta that we're seeing. She's just good in every sort of regard. She's great at lane clearing, she's got good team fight, and she can even kind of, initiate if she takes Rain of Vengeance. So interesting. And I remember the days where we used to laugh at Strafe, but it's seen a big, big comeback. And it's not so much that floppy noodle that we used to joke about anymore. It actually packs a punch these days.
Yeah, there was a time when I used to give it a hard time. I mean, it was, like you say, it was an ultimate that literally tickled you, and you'd be like, oh, okay, I guess I'll just trank and heal it up. What else do I have to do? But now, yeah, absolutely. It has a lot more presence, a lot more punching power behind it. But actually, in terms of these picks for the trade-off, ETC, that was a given. Why would you not pick ETC? But Zol Jin, now also another strong competitor when it comes to these races. He's going to actually, to some extent, want to get himself damaged to really unleash his potential in these trades. So watch to see some quirky strats come out of him.
I mean, I really like Zoljin, and I think people have started... It was the same as Chromie, I guess. He's always been strong. It's just people were working out, I guess, where he fit, how to sort of play him, and like you said, balancing when to be low versus when to have full health, because he can be popped quite easily if he hasn't got Taz Dingo up. Or if he hasn't taken it at all, Skibby.
Well, absolutely. I mean, he might not take it because we just cannot predict ultimates, apparently. We think it's Mosh Pit, we think it's Stage Dive, we think it's Panda Pals, but it's something else. So clearly we're in the wrong industry. But let's have a look at these bans going into this next rotation. Karazima is actually being picked up, which to me, I was going to say, perhaps they're going to get baited here and think they need to go for the Oriel. Karazim maybe going for the damage orientation, but they're going to go for Dahaka anyway. They decide that Dahaka with the global pressure, with the ability to lock a member down, is just too much synergy with what they already have. Bear you in mind, they've actually gone for Zaya for their first 3 initial picks. So the ball is now in their court to see what they can take away. I'm thinking they're going to go for a support ban.
I mean, it's just sort of going to want to narrow down that pool. It's all about playing the odds. Once you kind of got your main, it's always supports and tanks, because I guess they have some of the smallest pools in the game, but it's all about getting the one you want and then, like you said, disrupting what your enemy team wants or what's going to sort of combat you. But in saying that, Skimmy, there we go. That's what they think is going to combat them best, a Tychus. So they've decided to ban him out. And with good reason. Tychus has sort of shown he can be just brutal to verse. And that tank shredding that he brings, he can even shred objectives really, really quick. So it's almost like having a Sylvanas that we sort of touched on. Just really good at knocking down objectives when left unattended.
Yeah, absolutely. There is definitely a trinity, not only for supports, but for DPS as well. And definitely Vala, Tychus, to name a few, do find themselves up in that top position. But I was thinking they're going to go for a Rhaegar ban, purely for the fact that Zoljin is so strong when he has that attack speed buff. But let's talk about Tassadar. Now, Tassadar, oh dear, what a controversial subject this one is. He's been changed. Some would say he's been butchered and broken, but he's been changed a fair bit in this new PTR patch. So we're going to see, I'm sure, a lot of love for him in his current state because, quite honestly, I feel like he is broken. If he goes for the lifesteal here, Zoljin will be an absolute menace. He's got Ariel paired with him. So we might see a bit of a repeat of last week where we had the Infernal Shrines, John playing Valet, had double supports, and he was just popping off, to say the least.
Yeah, and I mean, as you said, Tassadar, man of the spotlight at the moment with that rework sort of coming in. It's going to be interesting to see, I guess, where his new home sort of fits and sort of the direction that Blizzard wants to take with him in sort of just making him really that utility, I guess, support mage that they'd always envisioned. So less about just being a one-trick pony with those shields and a couple of great force walls here and there. Blizzard's got big plans, but as you said, I don't know if they're going to deliver. We're seeing a Chromie and Johanna pick here. Chromie with a lot of zoning that's going to sort of be happening in this map. So you got to watch out with the Chromie around.
Yeah, Chromie's an interesting one because I say we'll have to see what build she goes for. Generally speaking, they go for the empowered auto attack after using a spell so they can actually contribute when it comes to these races. Otherwise, you're essentially just trying to bank all of your potential on finding kills and going, guys, I'm a dud when it comes to smacking on towards this immortal. But Joanna is going to be the tank of choice here. It gives him great wave clear, gives him some solid lockdown to pair with things like the Zaya and the Vala if she decides to go for Rain of Vengeance, and allows them to have some reliable CC and stun action for Chromie to then set up the big damage. Well, it's a final pick now on the side of Teamzol. They are, from what I can imagine, looking for another bruiser of some sort. Frau is still available. Now, Frau would be pretty strong. They would have the Earthquake that has some control. They're going to go for Greymane, though. Yes!
Ooh, another assassin. I mean, as you said, with that double support, in fact, it could be Greymane's sort of dream come true if he can sort of get in there, disrupt the backlines. He's got a lot of support behind him, so there's really, I mean, theoretically, no reason why he can't just sort of pounce on the Valor or go hunting for a Chromie. So, yeah, bring on their Greymane, especially on a brawler-centric map like this, Skimmy.
I think they've chosen him as the sniper of choice here. They've seen that Chromie, they've just locked on that Greymane, going, look, he's good for the map, he's good at picking off squishies. We've got double support already. If Zoljin drops, at least we have another reliable carry to buff on up. Let's have a look, guys. Game number 2 of week number 2 here for the Gamestah Summer Qualifiers. Chance to net yourself 2K guaranteed if you finish top 2. Not bad for playing some video games. Top left side is the blue team. It's Teamzol starting off with Konya playing Greymane. Mad World is playing the support. He's on Oriel. We've got Merifax on Zol Jin. Zipline on ETC. And Superstition playing Tacita.
Ooh, okay. And then on the rejects, we've got Hacky on Chromie, Yarn on Johanna, Moops on Karazim, Tommy on Valor, and Moondruid playing Zarya.
Moondruid playing Zarya. Let's see if he can do a little bit better than the Zarya we saw last game. No disrespect, none intended whatsoever. It was a bit of a mismatch when it came to the game, but it was interesting to see nonetheless. That's what we want to see, is teams not get too upset the fact that they've lost one game and say, I'm not coming back next week. We want the scene to grow. We need more than 2 teams in this scene for us as casters to shoutcast. Otherwise, what are we going to be doing? Game and night will be over in 30 minutes flat. That's just no fun, Vandy.
Nah, that's my worst nightmare, Skimmy. So as I said, bring out your best Zaris, bring out your B steps, because this is ANZ. And
bring out your B steps.
Yeah, it's become a staple.
This is part of our own meta. We just have no respect. We just want to do anything we can. But, you know, it's for the children. You've got to be polite. You've got to have scrim partners. And you've got to get good. Because if we're not going to get good as a scene, how are we going to perform when it comes to the international circuit? We need to get some good results, guys. We need to beat these minor regions. We need to feel proud about ourselves.
Exactly right. And, I mean, in terms of, I guess, which draft you were sort of favouring, did you have any that you were favouring in particular, Skimmy?
I'm quite liking the fact that we got Chromie here, so I want to see how she specs and how she decides to build. She's already gone for the Time Walker's Pursuit, which is a bit of a staple right now, but it's not going to really suggest too much at this stage. I'm liking the fact that they got Karazim as well, gives them a lot of damage when it comes to these immortals. But we're going to have to wait and find out, because it's going to kick off straight away with the Sandblast connecting on towards Free. Dragon's Breath is being used to grade us. He's going to look to try and find this kill on towards Zoltan. He's got the crown on his head. He's looked to try and get as many heals on top of him as he can, but it's going to be very anticlimactic to start off here. It's going to be Chromie chucking out some damage, showing that she can land some skill shots, but it's going to be a standard laning phase.
Bit of a stale one after that, such an explosive sort of start, but oh my god, Mad World over here, just scouting it out there, maybe not quite realising that everyone had settled into lanes yet. You always need to be careful, even though you can't see anyone sitting out there. He's probably doing the same, we're trying to wait for a couple of baits here and there.
Couple of baits indeed, and so if we look at the top lane, it's going to be a lane of Zarya up against Greymane. Greymane already having a bit of a rough time right now. He's dropped quite low. He's going to go for that tap in the well quite early on. It's going to hurt him when it comes to this first immortal phase, but the aggression now is in the bot lane. It's Yarn once again spinning a Yarn. He's going to get amongst the action spots. 4 members. Does not manage to actually get any kills set up for the rest of his team. Both teams looking to try and force out well taps, force out some retreats, and get ready for this first phase to come about.
And one thing we didn't touch on, Skimmy, just seeing the Zarya and the Greymane up there, what we didn't really touch on is Zarya's going to be such a good combat in a way to Greymane. Say he goes all in on Chromie, there's just going to be a shield that pops out and uh-oh, he's just given all his energy to Zarya, who's free to just sort of punish him right back. So I just sort of noticed, I'm like, oh, we just sort of overlooked this little one over here. So they're just going to need to be careful. Probably bait out those shields early.
Oh, but there goes the aggression. We're still looking for that first blood. Could it be Marifex right now? Because he's taking a fair beating right now. It's Yarn and Moves looking to try and put the pressure on towards him, but the attrition actually counter pressure goes on towards Tommy because it's Konya diving in deep. This is what we said that Greymane pick would be for. He gets dropped down to 300. A grenade does go for the smite, but still no first blood. They are all dangerously low. The whole of Red Squad via Moves are at 50%. Tommy has gone for that tap. That's going to bring him nice and healthy up. And look at this. This is the dream power slide right now. He's got 4 members lined up like that, but Zipline himself is far too low. He cannot get the kill. He had 2 supports ready and waiting. That's just not enough DPS. They've got their star players coming in now. It's Marifax. He's in that time walk. He is up, and he is ready to try and get amongst it now, but he needs those heals. His attack speed is so damn high, but they are playing base defense. Look at this carnage. This is truly a battlefield of eternity.
Couldn't have said it any better myself, Skimmy. That was just such a sort of restrained fight right there. But
there we go.
There goes Oriel. I think I jinxed it there, Skimmy.
I think I did jinx it there, and it's going to be the first blood on towards the support. Marifax is actually so damn low, he had to pop that regeneration himself as he was waiting for his supports to come and give him some aid. Obviously, Testa does not have the lifesteal on those shields just yet, but it's going to be Yarn. Play, because they are ahead in terms of this trade. They don't want Marifax to do too much. You can see how low he was, Vandy. He was down to 50 health. He was just hitting like a truck, completely crazed and possessed. The first one is going to go in favour of the red team.
what's the saying we like to use here? It was calculated. Calculated, and you knew how much damage he was going to do there. He was like, this is maximum damage output right there. I think I'm safe enough. And like you said, just doing all the damage, shredding it so that they got a minimal shield to sort of deal with, and then they should be able to, I guess, take down the Immortal quite quickly.
Yeah, it's all a strat right now, and Zeppline thought the same here. Let's see if he goes for Mosh Pit this game. He's going to go for the power slide nonetheless. But look at this. Hacky is just smashing nerds right now. He just got a huge Dragon Breath, make that a double kill. They find both ETC and Zoljan taken off the map. Another Sandblast spot. Oh, he's going to go for the Dragon Breath. He actually connects again. This guy is really the sniper we were talking about during draft, and he is accurate as it comes.
I mean, this is why Chromie can be so frustrating to deal with. Just that range that he has, and also not being afraid to play aggressively, because with a lot of support and backing from his team, if you can sort of get away with it, and you know that you've got your team behind you, I mean, as you saw, it really paid off for him right there, Skimmy.
And well, I was saying before in the draft about how Chromie can be a bit of a dud pick depending on what build she goes for. She has gone for those bronze talents at level 4, which for the viewers increases both your attack range by 35%, but also your basic attack damage after using the Sandblast by 250. So really, you can sit there, you can poke away, you can help out your team with the PV objective. If you're not hitting, you're not getting kills, then at least you are still helping the team. Now, they're going to go for the wave play in the bottom lane. They did steal away those mercenaries, They took their own mercenary camp, really, as Zeppline and crew are in this bottom lane looking to try and even the balance. Hacky once again doing a great job at base defending. He's keeping 4 members at bay. Those towers have not been touched.
It's just, you always have to be worried, especially when you don't have that line of sight that Chromie. You just know that there's going to be a dunk of sand landing somewhere. You're just going to try your best to dodge it before it sort of gets to you. But in saying that, Skimmy, as you said, just getting so much value on the poke as well, and just forcing the retreat. And there goes the ultimate.
Yeah, there goes the ultimate. The temporal alert. The time was a little bit off there, so they didn't get the one shot, but they still have done a lot of damage as a result. The skirmish is definitely in favor right now of the Rejects. We're punching on to look for Teamzol and kills. They start things off there with the Zoljan. Zyre actually dropping in the 1v1 in the top lane, but the attention is still focused in the bottom lane right now. They don't manage to get any more kills. They have retreated behind that base defense, but regardless, they are 11.5 up here, Vandy. 5 kills to 1. They are starting to find their momentum.
It's sort of like they're just easing into it, and Hacky's just, I guess, quite chuffed with this pick because it's having the desired effect. Every time we see Teamzol trying to go in for a team fight, they're already half health or even less, with the team members sort of being sniped off, and it just puts them at a great disadvantage already before the engage has even started.
And strange though, I mean, we're talking about the Hungering Arrow build, how it can be, you know, in some cases be picked for this map. He's actually only gone for the level 1 talent. He's not going to go for a full Hungering Arrow build. He's going to still veer into the standard multi-shot, it would seem, but he's only gone for multi-shot at level 4, then going in for the reset for the arrow, so his build is all over the show right now.
Taking off the best of both worlds, not committing to either too much until perhaps the later on talents, and then once
but here comes the temporal loop. They're looking for that one shot once again. They're going to try and collide on towards Marifax, but he is just popping off. He is chucking out axes left, right, and center. He is waiting for that heal from Madworld, who has actually gone for Emphatic Link at level 7. So not for that bursting light. Not going to be able to chuck it out as quickly as she would like, but he walks into it. Zoljan, see you later, buddy. 3 members of Teamzol wiped off the board, and Hacky is having a great time here. They don't have 10, but he does, and he's surely abusing it.
He really is, Kim. If we just sort of take a look at the hero damage, leading the boards on 30k. The next highest is 18k, but like, we can just see, just based purely on numbers, just how much poke he's getting on off the Teamzol members. And Teamzol must be so frustrated. We've all sort of come across it, just a Chromie that you just feel is just literally dunking on your team. And you're just like, oh, we just need to collapse on her. But it's gonna sort of, I guess, once the all-important level 10 hits, it's going to be a whole different ballpark right there, with perhaps a Mosh coming out to help lock down the team members. It's really even playing field.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait and see for level 10 to come about, then we can actually see a true fight break out. But right now, as you say, Chromie is having an absolute field day, finding damage left, right, and center, really getting the kills when they matter, and allowing their team to find this 2-level lead. Now that Immortal is pushing on through, that fort has gone down, same for the tower, it is heading for the keep. And they're going to look to try and still keep this pressure up. Half a level before Teamzol actually find 10 themselves. Those ultimates are just begging to be picked up and become online. But this structure, this gate is going to drop. Same for this tower, and that leaves a very naked keep.
It's so exposed, and that's really not what you want. And Madworld right there, full energy but couldn't get a heal off. That's so unfortunate. Rain of Vengeance is blocking him up, Skimmy. And that, oh my gosh.
They're just not level 10 right now, and they're just losing as a result of that merit. I mean, 2 members dropped down, 3 more potentially could have gone down. Konya's actually going to get aggressive here on Yan, but it's not going to be enough right now. They so desperately need those 10s. You can see how much it's hurting them as a result of that skirmish, which was so well executed by the Rejects. That allowed them to open up a window, find that keep, and that means that lane is constantly pressured, and it really breaks up this comp that the Rejects are trying to run while they just collapse and all in.
All in, right? Just like that, Skimmy. Every sort of opportunity Hacky gets to temporal loop is taking it, and that's just being the initiate right there. He's not worrying about the rest of his team. He knows they'll follow up. He just wants to get the ball rolling and just sort of, I guess, keep Teamzol on the edge of their toes, essentially, with not much time to react. It's kind of been like they're just reacting, but not really getting much sort of breathing room to make their own plays.
I mean, if we actually highlight the ultimates that have been chosen, you can see moves. I'll look at that. He goes for the Earthlight, dashes away. Konya actually getting a bit too antsy because of that. Wow, the temporal loop was used to try and get the kill, but the Aegis had to be popped there. No other way to describe it. Madworld forced to burn an ultimate to keep their star Grey main player alive. But yeah, just to briefly touch on the ultimates for Rejects, you could essentially say every ultimate they've chosen provides some level of peel. Temporal loop to set up kills, but also to get members to run away. Rain of Vengeance, you've got Blessed Shield, Expulsion Zone 2, and then they've gone for the Divine Palm. They realize that this team comp coming out of Teamzol is all in. They're looking for those kills. They want to try and blow up either the Valor or the Chromie. Divine Palm negates all of that, and if your coordinates are being used, you're standing there and you're not having a good time.
Essentially, that's exactly it, because they've exactly read the team as that. They have an all-in team, and that's how they function, but if they can disrupt that, as we can sort of see the results here, it's quite effective for them, and it's just all about keeping their all-important carry safe.
Well, the carriers are once again in prime position to look for things. Yan is going to run in there. A great expulsion zone denies the rest of that team going across, but it's going to be the dimensional shift used to get through that. They are looking for the aggression, but the heals are coming across, but it's Konya. He's ran the wrong way. It's unfortunate timing because now it's a 4v5, and those Immortals have just popped on up 13 to 11. 11 kills to 1, Vandy. 1 kill on the side of Teamzol. Rather unfortunate there, but they're looking for the aggression once again. Oh my days, that kill just comes across, colliding. It's going to be so much carnage right now because they've already taken out 2. Aegis was popped, and it's actually popped with Taz Dingo, so a bit of an overlay with those ults, but it doesn't matter. A complete roundhouse. 4 members taken out for free. This is going to be one very beefy Immortal, and could potentially be GG.
It's kind of getting into a mid-game Immortal now, Skimmy, and with that exposed keep up top, with that continued pressure, Teamzol's going to have to dig deep to sort of come back from this one. And as you said, it was just so unfortunate that Greymane just got cut off from the rest of his team, because it was quite a good sort of recovery. No one was dying, and then, as I said, instantly like that, it was a 4v5. And with just Tacita and Oriole doing all they can to keep their teammates alive, there's just so much pressure coming out of the Rejects. And especially, as we said, Hacky just showing us really what Chromie can do. That all-important sniping. You
can see them there. They were trying to actually get cheeky. They went for the Time Walker's Pursuit. They had the vision on that night camp there, or the Shaman camp, I should say. They went for the Expulsion Zone as well to try and keep ETC locked in and get a guaranteed combo, almost like a poor man's temporal loop. It wasn't to be the case, but let's talk about this Immortal. This Immortal has a 25k shield. This is pretty beefy to get through. Yes, it's only 12 minutes in, but this gives him so much potential, especially with how Hacky's been playing with this Hope. And it's quite unfortunate for the side of Teamzol right now. They've got 2 enablers looking to try and make their carries find the kills, find the aggression, and find the momentum, but they're just not able to get it right now. It's going to be the temporal loop used once again, but the response is that Aegis burn ultimates across the board. That keep is dropping on down, Vandy. It is so unhealthy. Down to 1k. It is going to get swooped on through. That is 2 keeps gone on the map, and they're not finished here. You can see they're looking for this kill on towards ETC. He has dropped down. He's got Madworld popping off the hills where he can. He's getting energy at a dangerous, alarming rate to say the least, but the kills are looking to try and start off. I mean, a Zipline who's dropping low, they do kick it off right now. They collapse onto the right side. Madworld trying to run away from his own base, but it's going to be too little too late. Konya spins out of control. He's taken away. 4 members once again. Rinse and repeat. That was the GG condition we were talking about, and that is the GG on your screen.
Oh my gosh, I mean, that Immortal right there doing so much, also acting as like another deterrent to Teamzol. They didn't want to go all in, not with the Immortal sort of banging down on them, so they just really had no clear window for engage. I could totally see Zepline right there just counting down Mosh Pit. By the time it was up, he was just low and people were dying left, right, and center. So just unfortunate timing there for that last team fight where he could have maybe done a huge Mosh Pit and maybe turned the tides there.
Yeah, I think really the story of that game was Hacky had so much free roam, so much control that they themselves, with a comp that's deciding to want to be aggressive, ended up playing passive. And as soon as they played passive and didn't decide to go for the kills or didn't try to try and find those collaborated kills, so you saw a lot of those times members were split off on their own. As soon as they couldn't get the kill or took too much poke, it just went all downhill from there. So GG in favor of the Rejects. I think I know who you're going to have to say for the MVP, but I'll pass it to you anyway.
I think we're going to give it to Hacky, and as you said, it was just sort of unspoken between us. Just his team as well banding behind him, and each of them taking something to sort of peel, and like you said, make Hacky that threat. Really just let him shine. So that's who my vote goes to. But Skimmy, you have the final say.
I think it's synonymous across the board right now. Hacky, congratulations there, mate. Game number 2 of week number 2 here of the Gamestah Summer Qualifiers. You've won the MVP nomination. You go into the chance to potentially win a Plantronics headset. But for now, once again, pass you back to the man with the plan. It's Kit Fox at the host desk.
Thank you very much, Skimmy and Vandy, for yet another cracker of a match. Unfortunately, Teamzol couldn't get it done, and the Rejects and Hacky getting themselves over the line for their virgin appearance here in the GSQ in the week 2. In fact, they did have a bye in the first round. Just another couple results from the round. If you have just joined us, the main team have defeated Elite in their round. Nomia have defeated an Ethereal Cat, and we are currently waiting on the result of Sweet Dreams and Sasu. So don't go anywhere. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back very, very soon for some more Heroes of the Storm action right after this.